This episode is brought to you by, if you appreciate craftsmanship and doing things the right way, well, that's what Bardstown Bourbon is all about. They're not just making bourbon, they're pushing the standard forward. Smooth, bold, layered with flavor. Whether you're winding down after a long week or celebrating a big win, it just fits. Bardstown Bourbon. Modern flavor, timeless craftsmanship. Green River Whiskey is authentic Kentucky whiskey with no gimmicks and no shortcuts. It's just done right. Smooth, balanced, and refined over generations. Whether you're sitting around with friends or relaxing after a long day, raise a glass to a good conversation and even better company. Green River Whiskey. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Travel Dads Podcast, brought to you by Bardstown Bourbon and Green River Whiskey. I am your host, Jason Corley, alongside my buddy,
Jacob Moreno. Bienvenidos a otro episodio de Travel Dads Podcast.
So, folks, you are getting us on an abnormal Sunday afternoon just because there's a lot of things going on in the world of travel baseball this weekend with the massive Houston 1000 tournament for PG out in Houston, Texas. And we are waiting any second to be joined by one of our very best friends and one of the greatest families we've ever met in travel ball, thanks to travel ball, in Jay Shroeder, who is from League City, Texas, correct? Yeah, he's from League City. Yeah. And how far is that from Houston? I always forget, like an hour?
About 45 an hour.
Okay, depending on the day and depending on the traffic.
Yeah, everything's an hour, though, in Houston. You know that.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? But he's going to call us, or he's going to join us via video from the fields, because they're playing today his son Nolan, which we can get into that story. We're not sure exactly how much time we're going to have with Jay, but we're going to take every second that we're allowed to get with him before Nolan takes the field, because Nolan's got 2 games this afternoon. So I'm going to keep watching my phone here and make sure that I'm not missing, nothing yet. But he did ask for the link. But this is the first time for us that we're not there since we've been on travel on I guess you could say a national travel schedule. This is the first year that we haven't gone. So I keep getting, so who's up and here's something else cool, folks. So as we're having these conversations with you today, you might see Jacob and I constantly looking down at our screens and our phones, because we're both getting live updates nonstop from the tournament. So a lot of teams that will be playing next week that are there. So we'll be down in Florida next week. And some of these teams that are in Texas this week will be in Florida next week. So we're just kind of keeping up. We've got friends all over the country playing.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy is that we're having a hard time because we're trying to keep up and figure out who's with who, what team. And that's just the world we live in. All right. So he gave me a thumbs up that I sent the link. So hopefully he's coming in here pretty soon. I'm not worried, we'll chop this up a little bit. If there's too much dead air, we'll kill it. Okay. I think we'll be, I think we'll be all right.
I think we'll be all right too.
Yeah. So your setup looks good, bud.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Yeah. I actually moved downstairs to my daughter's old bedroom.
Okay.
And set everything up. Got a corner desk, and Andrea helped me with all this, man. She had a vision, and she was just telling me where to put stuff, and I did. And it looks good.
Yeah. So, we hooked up with our sponsor Friday late morning, right? Yeah, it was Friday.
Yes, about brunch time.
Yeah, brunch. Did you? Oh, brunch time. Yeah. Hooked us up with all of the paraphernalia that you can see. Jacob, I told Jacob he looks like he's at a trade show. Like you look like you're doing a sampling in a trade show, but it looks good.
If you I got the sample bottles right here.
You
need to sample some stuff. We can't.
My sample bottles have already went out, man. They are currently being sampled. Yeah.
I gave 2 away, but that's about it. I'm going to be very.
You're a hoarder. You're a hoarder.
No.
Yeah,
I'm not just going to give it to everybody, though.
No, I know. You're like, I think we have him. Yes, we have him. Hold on, folks.
I'm methodical with the way I'm going to do it.
There he is. What's up, dude?
What's happening, man? How are y'all?
Where are you at?
I'm
good,
inside.
man. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm inside the cages at Baseball USA and the indoor cages in a quiet place. Hey,
What's good, baby?
Coach Rocky. This is
What's
Jason Corley.
Hey, what up,
Pit Dogs
Rocky?
guy.
Yeah, I'll be on at some point, fellas. I promise.
Yeah,
all right, man.
we're
We'll have
gonna
you
get
anytime you
on,
want to
man.
come on. Anytime you want to come on.
He said
So
anytime
tell
you
us,
come on.
Oh,
you
for
guys
sure.
are. So I seen Jay. You guys are not at Diamonds at Daly Park. You guys are at the other place.
We're at Baseball USA, and they've got teams
Okay.
all over the place. They've got
Bro,
teams
80
up
80
in Brenham
80
as
teams
far
again.
as College Station, an hour and a half from Houston.
Stop it.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And somebody tonight, after they
I
play their
saw-
last pool game, is going to have to drive all the way to
Yeah.
Brenham, Texas to play one bracket game and then bracket tomorrow at the Rat.
I know. I saw
Yeah.
I saw the Hit Dogs 14U yesterday was playing in Brenham, and I was
Yeah.
like, how far is this? And I was like,
That's
holy shit!
It's a haul,
It looks like
man.
about an hour.
It's an hour from Houston.
Okay.
We're from our house. It's almost 2 hours. But I'm really hoping we don't have to drive home from Brenham, Texas tonight.
Okay, so
Man.
it's the opposite direction of League City where you guys live.
Yeah, it's north. It's like northwest.
Okay.
Toward Texas A&M.
Northwest. Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys, so it's just now getting ready to be noon there where you guys are
Yeah.
at now.
Yeah.
Do you guys play? No one plays it at what time?
We played today at 2 and 4.
2 and 4.
4.
Okay, so
Yeah.
3 and 5 our time. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So quickly, listen, I know we don't have a lot of time with you, but I wanted some time with you. First of all, happy anniversary.
Thanks, man.
Anniversary. Make sure you
Appreciate it.
celebrate
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. What is it, 20 years?
17.
Dude, were you, I was gonna say, were you guys legal when you got married? Congratulations on that. So tell,
Thank
I know we don't have time to go into the story of how we met. We can save that for another time, which is a really cool story. Hey, what's
Nolan,
up,
what up,
stud?
Nolan?
What is up?
Hey,
Dude,
I-
tell
they
him,
can't-
tell him I said those colors are sick.
They
they
are
said the
sick.
colors are sick. They love it,
That
man.
whole locker room presentation was sick.
Oh, dude,
man.
they had
Yeah.
a locker room reveal at the Sugarland Space Cowboy Stadium. It was a whole production. It was crazy.
That's
Yeah, that
awesome.
looks sick, man.
That's awesome. So I want to get into this, and this is something that I
Yeah.
definitely want to cover. So we met you as Houston Wildcatters. That's how we met. We met
Yeah.
you when our boys were 8 years old, and all I ever known is that the Schroeders and Nolan and Hudson have been Houston Wildcatters.
Yeah.
This is the first year you guys are no longer there. Tell me what that transition has been like, because you and I have not had a conversation about this at all.
Yeah, man. So, Nolan was with the Wildcatters almost from the inception up until last fall. We had a really good thing going. The Wildcatters got their national program up and running. And we've all been around it long enough. We know what that means. We're flying
Yep.
kids in. We're paying to win essentially. And it got to a point where I didn't think it was best. It was what was best for Nolan and his development. So we made
Yeah.
the move to Southside Defenders, with Rocky last fall.
Okay.
It was a good move. And now, we've changed names to DK National, same team.
I was
but
going to ask you
different
that.
colors. Yeah.
Okay, so what is that all about? What is the DK National? Because when I first found out that you guys left and went to Southside Defenders, first of all, Jacob and I were like, well, that makes sense, just because that's an amazing program. We all know that program. Jacob
with
is,
Ralph and Rocky and
I mean,
you
I
know.
think Jacob's half family with that club.
Yeah.
So
Brantley would
so-
blend in great with this team.
yeah, you guys let me know. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying is let me know.
There was this, folks. If you don't understand, that's exactly how National Travel Ball works, right there. That pitch was just
Yeah.
made.
Yeah.
They have my number. You have my number. Just
Yeah.
let me know.
The
So
difference
what is
is
the-
with our team is we don't have money, so you gotta come on your own dime.
Hey, that's fine, man.
Yeah, it's either just
If I gotta
Jacob.
sell an arm or a leg, I will.
Yeah, we can figure it out. Refinance your house or something.
Right. Hey, so what is the DK? What is that?
So-
Explain why it's not
Yeah.
Southside Defenders. What it
So
is.
DK is Diamond Kings organization that started out of Dallas. A bunch of Dallas guys, a bunch of baseball guys up there. I think they started their national program with their 13U group last year. And they're just looking to
Okay.
grow. They're looking to expand the organization. They were essentially looking for competitive teams that could wear the brand and go around and compete nationally. Kind of a perfect match for us. We were looking for a little more for the boys, in terms of some swag, some different looks on the field in terms of uniforms, and they've got a huge social media presence. I mean, all the national teams, they've got camera crews there. They're getting videos and pictures for the kids. So it was a move for the boys. It's a really cool thing for them. You know, for us, like I told Rocky and Ralph, I don't care what we wear or what our name is. It's strictly for the boys, and they're super excited about it.
Yeah. So is Hudson, he come with you guys, or is he just, and I don't mean this weekend, but did he come over to DK as well? Or is he just doing high school ball and that's it?
He's just doing high school ball. He'll have his first summer showcase, his first showcase summer this coming summer. He's a freshman, so he'll play for Texans baseball out of Houston. It's funded by the McNair family that owns the Texans, which is pretty cool. So
you make it so incredibly hard to live in Ohio. You know that.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, and also it's February 28th yesterday, it was 78 degrees.
Shut up. Yeah. Okay.
It's great.
It was not.
55 here.
Heat slopes yesterday.
Yeah. Honestly, I was hot. It's like, God, what is it? I mean, it was sunny all day, 78, and I got a lot of sun.
Yeah, keep rubbing it in. Keep rubbing it in.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. So, go ahead.
So how was the transition? Was it smooth, or were there bumps on the road?
No, man, it was smooth. It was honestly, it was pretty seamless. We played our last fall tournament in Portland, Texas with Southside Defenders back in November. The conversation to move over to DK started probably late January, early February, and it just took off. Uniforms were ready in less than a month. There really wasn't a lot to do other than getting uniforms and signing up. So it was easy.
Did you have a relationship with them before?
No, actually. So there's I guess the inside track that Rocky and Ralph had to the organization. There's a kid that plays on the national team. That's a former Southside Defender. He moved out to Central Texas and started playing for DK. So, they kind of knew a little bit about it because of him. But no, we really didn't have a relationship with guys prior to that. We just said, hey, look, PG says we're the 8th ranked team in the country. Do y'all want a 12U national team? And they took off.
Gotcha. Okay. I just didn't know if they had a relationship with knowing Nolan as a player. Or, okay. So this was a blind audition.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Very much.
So for families out there listening, you just heard it. This is not everything in high level travel ball has got to have some sort of a connection. Sometimes it can be a cold call and it can be the right move for your family at the right time.
100%. That's essentially what this was. It was basically a cold call, zero politics involved, zero, prior relationships. These guys took a chance on our team and, here we are.
Okay. So how many of you came over?
Our entire team. Oh, are you talking about from Wildcatters?
Yes. I didn't know if it was just, okay. I didn't know if it was just Nolan or if anybody else with Nolan came over.
Just Nolan.
Okay. So that was
no, sorry. I take that back. You remember Orion Miles, the little catcher with the dreads?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He did.
Yeah. Bo Arsenault, real slick infielder. He came over. I think that's it. Those are the only former Wildcatters that are with us now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. How many guys are you guys carrying?
Typically 12. For the NIT, since it's a 3-day tournament, we're carrying a couple extra just for arms, but usually 12.
Yeah, we're rolling 10 deep like always, like every year. We're only rolling 10.
I love it, man. I like it. You can rely on all 10 guys.
Yeah, but it gets tough, man. It gets tough once you get to them big tournaments.
100%. Yeah, especially the 3-4 day tournaments. If you got to have solid outings from every guy on your roster, and we saw it yesterday. I mean, we went 2-0 yesterday. We allowed 7 runs, but we had to go through probably too many guys that we would have liked to do. But it's early in the season. None of these kids are sharp. You kind of expect a solid outing from everyone. Yeah. But that's not always the case, and we know that. So
yeah. What as far as the tournament goes that you're there, I know that there's 80 teams in our division or in your division. We're not there. It's weird. It's weird not being there, but it's also we're totally okay with it. Like we're all at peace with knowing that we're going to be in Florida next week, and that's when we're going to start. We just needed something different this year, honestly. Like
man, I understand that.
I don't know what it is, but we all just were kind of like, you know what? We don't need to do $2,500 plane tickets to start the season. We can just
No.
drive to Florida and have a good tournament.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it had to do with how big that event is getting. You literally started the show by talking about how spread out now it is. So it's getting harder to maintain.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Who's the sleepers this week over there that every year, like you guys are a new name, a new face, new colors. Who's the sleepers this week that you're paying attention to?
So after day one of pool play, the number 1 seed was a Scorpions team out of Florida.
Yeah,
I've heard of Scorpions in the high school setting. Have not seen them in the youth setting, but they had a good showing yesterday. They were the number 1 seed of this new Golden Prospects team. There's a lot of buzz around them. I wouldn't consider them sleepers because all their kids are pretty well known, but they came in and dominated all 4 games. There's
when your owner has a show on the Discovery Channel, you're not a sleeper.
Yeah. It's kind of the usual suspects. SBA National, Wildcatters Elite. It's the Golden team, which we know is a lot of the Florida kids, VSA. The Golden Futures team had a really good showing. Kind of usual suspects right now, but we all know how the 12U age group works. So a lot of things happen to these kids physically in the next 6-7 months. That's what I'm excited to see. We saw some decent arms yesterday from some teams that we didn't really expect much from, but testosterone starts flowing around this age and it gets real interesting.
Who did you guys play yesterday?
We played the NRP Astros out of New Jersey and USA Prime Southwest Florida. Okay. The Astros team,
so is that,
they look like they haven't played a lot of baseball outside in a long time, which is understandable. They're from Jersey. They're a big athletic looking team, but just didn't look polished and didn't look ready. The USA Prime team, they were probably one of the better contact hitting teams that I've seen in a long time. Every kid got the bat on the ball. So that was a dogfight for a few innings.
Is that where Andrew Robinette, is that who he's playing with this weekend, USA Prime?
Yeah, but out of Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's like 5 USA Primes here this weekend.
There's 5. There's 12. There's 12 Wildcatters teams. I don't even know. I think I saw 7 SBA teams now.
Yeah.
There's a SBA Texas, SBA JXM, National. There's all kinds of them.
Yeah. Hey, I have a question for you. Since you have been, you have coached at this level, how does that work with, like with Xavier? How does he balance having both of those top level national teams, the JSM and the SBA X? How does he balance those in the same tournament, in the same division?
So the SBA team is listed as SBA JSM X.
Right.
So
and then he's still coaching the other team. I don't either.
I think they're both Xavier J. I think they're both Xavier. One's the little small guy, and then the other one is the big guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they both had the same name of Xavier.
I want to say that both of their names.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Put it in there.
But that would be tough. Right. I mean, trying to juggle 2 teams at once.
What are you guys seeing?
Especially in this tournament.
What are you guys seeing for velocity?
Velo, it's so far we've seen mid upper 60s. I don't think anything we saw yesterday was touching 70. I've kept up with a bunch of the games. I've seen, mid 70s from a couple kids. But we know when bracket starts, you're going to see 75 plus, a couple kids touching 80. So the kids that can really chunk it haven't had to throw yet, but, we're seeing a ton of breaking stuff. Average velo with a ton of breaking stuff. So it's kind of been a grind, this early in the seasons.
What would you say out of all the 80 teams, the percentage of, these teams are legit? Like, they're going to be a problem all year. May not win much, but will compete at the high level.
And I know
you
honestly
haven't got to watch all of them.
No. And I feel like I've got a pretty good pulse on this age division. Out of the 80 teams that could go and compete nationally, I would say maybe 15. It essentially comes down to arms, man. And that's the issue with, those other 65 teams. They might have a guy, that can chunk at 70, 75, but he's probably the only guy. These top 10 teams, top 12 teams, they've got 2 or 3, maybe 4 guys that are chunking at 75 plus. I mean, from 50 feet, man, it's tough.
Yeah.
So, and if you got a guy like that, and you only have one and another team sees it, they're going to try to do whatever they can to grab him so they can add another arm. to their
Oh yeah,
arsenal.
and that's the dangerous part about a tournament like this is, these smaller teams, these lesser known teams that come in and let's say they have a guy and they play, one of these top 5, 10 teams and he throws against them. Good luck. Good
Yeah.
luck keeping that kid
Yeah.
because he's gonna have a
Yeah.
bunch of money thrown at him. His parents are gonna be offered to fly everywhere, and and I get it, man. It's an expensive sport, it's an expensive hobby for a lot of people, and that's a tough thing to turn down. When teams come and say, "Hey, I'll fly your entire family every tournament we go," that's saving you thousands of dollars over the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question pertaining to that I want to get your take on, and that is that, with Hudson being in this as long as he's been in this, how have you
Yeah.
seen the landscape of high level national travel ball change, not just in the country, but in Texas, from where it was when Hudson started to where it is now with how things are developing and how these clubs are getting so big? How have you seen it change?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. Hudson's 14 now. His 9 and 10U season, he was on a pretty competitive team out of Houston that was competing nationally. Now I think the biggest thing is just these guys with money. They're realizing the advantages of kind of throwing money at a travel team, and it's got to be a tax break for them. You see way more funded teams now, way more.
And what is the payoff? I don't understand what the payoff is.
That's the
Parents
only
don't have to
explanation
pay.
I can think of.
Because
That, but also, instead of having, millions of dollars sitting in your bank account and you're getting taxed on it, a lot of these guys are creating 501c3s that they're dumping money in and they're tax breaks for.
Okay.
So
Okay.
way
Ooh,
more funded teams now than there were 6, 7 years ago.
and how do you compete with that? Like you can't. So you just
Some.
have to prepare the boys. And I will give our boys credit too. Our boys are smart enough now to know that they're going against a paid and bought teams. Like
Yeah.
they're very aware of this.
Yeah, and at the same time, though, you have to set expectations not only with the kids but with the parents. Like for our team, we're
Yes.
essentially a local Houston team. We know the
Yeah.
chances of us going in and competing with these top three or four teams is slim. But at the same time, all we want to be is competitive. We're not trying to
it.
be,
That's it.
the best 12U team in North America. As long as we can go
Right.
in and get in a dogfight and compete with these teams, then that's what we're about. I mean, it's about developing the kids and not winning every 12U tournament.
Have you seen it change or get more dramatic in Texas compared to other places in the country as far as the struggle to keep your kids? Because there's always been these rumors, and I'm not asking you to get into any of that stuff, but there's always been
Yeah.
these rumors, the Wildcatters are funded by the oil business and all this, which is actually not true because their logo is an oil rig.
Right.
That's how these things get started. Have
Yeah.
you seen it change in Texas, a place like Texas, where it is harder to even go out and play in these national events because you might have got yourself a little golden gem sitting at third base and you're
Yeah.
scared to death that SBA is going to see him and they're going to have some conversation with dad behind the porta potty. And the next thing you know, next week he's gone.
I mean, look, it happened to our team in the fall. We had a kid out of South Texas, really good hitter, and one of the Bayou City team that just merged with Wildcatters. They got him, and look, I haven't had a conversation with his dad, but they paid for a lot of stuff.
Sure.
So I'm
Sure.
confident that they said, hey, look, we can save you a bunch of money and we'll take care of your family, and as long as your kid plays with us, that's happening. I mean, it's
And you can't fault the parents.
No, not at all. Not at all. And it's
gotta,
something that
you
you really don't even want to think about,
Yeah.
because Rocky and Ralph kind of preach the family aspect, like, hey, we grind twice a week together. We we spend weekends together, we're a family. But at the same time, families have to do what's easiest for them. And what takes a little bit of burden off them. And I do not fault them whatsoever.
Yeah. If you got somebody coming and say, hey, we're going to give you essentially 25 to 30 grand for the year to fly, or you got to
Yeah.
spend your own 25, 30 grand. I think
Yeah.
it's easier for fans to be like, we'll just spend this millionaire's 25,
Yeah.
30 grand in our, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you also, Jay, you also have to be careful too, because as a parent, that can be very alluring, and that can be like, man, what a blessing, what a burden that we don't have to carry anymore. But is my kid gonna play? Like, okay,
Well,
this
and
is great,
that's-
but you're rostering 14 kids.
So that's what led us to leave Wildcatters. Was we were part of the national
That's what I
program.
thought.
Because
I was just trying to figure out how to get there.
Yeah, we were paying, they were paying for our trips and our stays and everything. But It got to a point where, Nolan was a DH, and a pinch hitter, and,
Yep.
he wasn't consistent enough at the plate for him, and he couldn't play the field. And, I was at the PGI, and I think it was 10U. I said it, or 11U. And it's like, hey man, I don't think this is what's best in his development. No fault to them. Those coaches
Yeah.
have a job. They have pressure on them to win.
Yeah.
I know for a fact the owner and the VP, they're paying attention. They'll put pressure on these guys to go win games. And if my kid's not a part of that recipe, then I can find something else that will fit him more. And that's what we did.
There's a
And that's
there's a
what you
lot
did.
of travel ball teams
Yeah.
available.
Man,
Where
yeah.
my kid can go
Especially in
develop.
Houston. Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Mm.
So who's on
Yeah.
tap today? Who do you guys have today?
So we've got DBC Prime. It's a team out of Dallas. Don't know a lot about them. I know they're 0-3. They've given up a ton of runs. And then the second team we play is a Beach City Prospects team out of California. What was exciting for me was all 4 of our pool play games. We've never played any of those teams. I've never even heard of it. So I was excited about that.
Nice.
Nice.
Playing in Houston, we play the same teams all over every other weekend. Playing 4 new teams. It was exciting. So today, don't know much about the 2 teams we play. One of them is 1-1. One of them's 0-3. We go in and we got to take care of business and keep the runs down. It's top 16, move on to gold.
Yeah.
Ooh, top 16.
Top 16
Yeah.
out of 80. Folks, if you
Out
didn't
of
hear
80,
that,
yeah.
top
I mean,
16.
there are going to be 2-0 teams that don't make gold, or 4-0 teams that don't make gold.
That's happened in the past. You've warned us about that in the past.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's a very, very real thing, which is hard, man. That's hard, man. When you're buying plane tickets to go to Houston, and you're there for a week in hotels, and then you find out you went 4-0 and your kids did great and you didn't even make gold.
Yeah.
Bro, that does not sit.
It's a wake up call, man. It's a wake up call for as a team. We got to cut down giving up runs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So who you guys throwing today?
Not sure. Probably Arsenal game 1.
This isn't live. Nobody's gonna hear it ahead of time.
Yeah. Well, I think we're throwing Arsenal game 1, solid arm, and then game 2, depending on how game 1 goes, we'll see. By game 2, we'll know what we need to do.
Yeah.
And the bracket play starts tonight at 8, did I see?
8 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, are you guys going to Cooperstown?
We're not. So isn't that in June?
No,
Hey,
it's
well,
all
it's
summer from May
It's
to
all
September.
summer.
Yeah.
It starts in May
But
and
it
goes all
doesn't
summer.
it starts in May. So we got invited to go with Premier National, and they're going in June. But man, Hudson's got like 5 showcases back-to-back weekends starting the end of May all the way through June. It would be way too hectic. So we're not going to make it. Nolan's bummed about it. He doesn't like to talk about it, but we're not going to make it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I figured that would have been. Now, did you ever go, or did Hudson ever go?
No, we've never been.
Jacob, that's the difference about living and playing in Texas.
It's
Cooperstown
down
isn't even on your
south.
freaking radar.
Yeah.
I mean,
for us, where it's
we know
cold
about
and
it, especially since in social media age, we know about it, but it's not really a bucket list thing for a lot of Texas teams. I don't know why. It looks like a really fun tournament, but it's just not a good time.
Yeah.
because you guys don't like traveling north.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that's not accurate. Also, a really bad time. We're busy, man.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse for you guys if he's a
go
freshman.
north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, man, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I mean, literally, best of luck. We are watching.
Yeah, man.
We're
we're
paying
watching.
attention. We got iPads open. We got laptops open all day long between Diamond Cast and Game Changer. So please give the boys our love. Give Brittany our love. Thank you for taking the time to come on.
Thank you, Jay.
And give us
Good
a little
luck.
update. Yeah, and best of luck. Tell Nolan best of luck. And whoever just died in the background back there, they got absolutely hammered with a sword, it sounded like.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers. So thank you, man.
Tell Ralph and Rocky we said good luck, man.
Yeah, will do. Thanks for having me on. And glad to see you guys doing your thing, man. This is really fun.
All right,
Thanks,
man.
Appreciate it.
Have a
Good
good day.
seeing you.
Yeah.
Tell the boys you said good luck.
Will do. Thanks.
If you appreciate craftsmanship and doing things the right way, well, that's what Bardstown Bourbon is all about. They're not just making bourbon, they're pushing the standard forward. Smooth, bold, layered with flavor. Whether you're winding down after a long week or celebrating a big win, it just fits. Bardstown Bourbon. Modern flavor, timeless craftsmanship.
Man, for those that don't know or haven't heard, we Yeah, we'll tell the story. Like we met the Schroeders. I don't know what year it was, but HUD was 8.
Good 9U. Going into
9 years.
9U.
I know, but I don't know what year that was. 4 years ago, and met them at a hotel and in Georgia. And there was nobody else there. Like it's not like it was a team hotel. It was a random thing where because we were a late ad. Remember?
Yeah, and I sent you the link where we were staying because we used to get a discount.
But that's one of the beautiful, beautiful things about travel ball, man. We met the Schroeder family 4 years ago, and he literally was like, I said, hey, can you come on the podcast and give us an update from Houston? And he's like, hell yeah, is his exact words.
Green River whiskey is authentic Kentucky whiskey with no gimmicks and no shortcuts. It's just done right. Smooth, balanced, and refined over generations. Whether you're sitting around with friends or relaxing after a long day, raise a glass to a good conversation and even better company. Green River Whiskey.
So, yeah, love that family.
Yep.
We've met so many good families from Texas. Probably, I would say Texas is by far the place that we've met the most amount of people that we've stayed in touch with.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So,
just great people, man. Great families. Great.
Yeah.
Texas is just a great environment to play in.
How about that where Cooperstown isn't even on their bucket list? And
yeah, I said they don't like coming north.
But I mean, that's just what a vast difference in baseball, folks. Like when you're from California, when you're from Florida, when you're from Texas, like the Cooperstown of the world it's not that big of a deal because you're playing in a Cooperstown every freaking weekend.
Yeah. Well, especially when you go play in them big tournaments like they're at now.
Yeah.
I mean, like he said, 80 teams and only 16 make bracket.
Now,
I mean,
folks, 80 teams in 12U major
alone.
Just that division. We're not talking about 12U AA and 12U single A.
Triple A.
We're not talking about any of that stuff. We're talking about just 12U major. And that's just age 12. There's 80 in every age and in every bracket. There's over 1,000 teams there.
1,017 from what I read.
It is insane. And we've done it for 3 years in a row. This is the first year we haven't done it. And I am not missing it at all.
Yeah,
like I thought I would be. I thought I'd have FOMO big time, but I haven't at all.
I am.
You are?
Yeah, man. You know I like going to Houston.
No, I'm not missing it at all. Just because I think I've been so jaded with the whole off season of the buying of the teams and the building of which like seriously, man, like I asked him and I want to ask you, what is the payoff for this? Like they're not making ticket sales. Like it's not like they're selling jerseys and ticket sales. It's not like it's the Dodgers.
No, but it's like Jay said.
How are they making money?
They're not. But remember, all the money you have sitting in your bank account gets taxed.
Bro, I understand, but not all of these teams are 501c3s. They're not all nonprofits.
But that's what he said. They're all starting them. You don't think the Golden Prospects are and stuff like that? I mean,
no, I don't think the Golden Prospects are a 501c3. No, I don't. Because I know how those operate, and like you can't be that would have to be. They're not labeled as a nonprofit. Like a nonprofit is a charity organization. So I understand you can have we have two 501c3 baseball programs in my town.
Okay,
PO,
so now
Press On and Christ the King, and they are faith-based organizations. Period. End of story. I don't think the Golden Prospects are in that. I don't think they're operating as a 501c3. We'll look it up. We'll find out, but I don't think they are.
Or it's to the point now, are they winning at all costs?
I understand that they are, but what is the winning getting them? What is their ROI?
Nothing. They're just going. Maybe they don't want the ROI.
Just brand? Just brand awareness?
Yeah.
Well, that's really stupid brand awareness because you have no return on your investment. You're not making anything at ticket sales. You're not making anything in merch. It's not like people are out running around buying 12U kids jerseys and wearing them to the fair and having them signed. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand, what does this, it's gotta be enrollment. There's gotta be some
sponsorship.
There's gotta be enrollment. Yeah. But I mean, who sponsors the Wildcatters? Nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, but SBA only has one sponsored team, and that's the SBA Bolts. So it's only it's not all of SBA.
No, yeah, it's
I'm just trying to figure it out because it just doesn't make any fiscal sense of why you would dump this much money, why you would tilt the scales so much in travel ball to where, okay, we are the number one team in North America. You cool. What did that get you? Like, where did you make money? I know you spent
Maybe
money.
this is above our heads.
I'm hoping somebody can answer for it. I'm hoping somebody will listen and watch this and say, hey, listen, if you want me to explain it to you like you're two, I can come on the podcast. We would love to have you on.
Yeah.
But it's got to be all ego driven status, or there's got to be some underlined fiscal reason why you would build these empires of Wildcatters, SBA, the VS MVP hustles of the world. None of those teams are, SBA or not SBA, but the Wildcatters is not Wildcatters brought to you by Ford. You know what I mean? Or Dodge.
Yeah, but do they all want to be like the Kings, the 5-star mafias?
So what I was saying, I understand that they do want that. I know that's what they want. But what is that getting them for all the money they're pouring out to all the families that they're buying? How are they getting that money back? That's what I'm not understanding. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you're going to go out and spend 25 grand a kid on one team to be the number one team in the country, how are you getting that money back? Where's that money?
Yeah,
what money are you
ROI,
getting back from them? Because you're still paying for the tournament. Let's just say in a perfect world, you're getting free entry just for showing up. Okay, all right, that's fine. But still, you've got 10 kids on a team at 25 grand a head.
That's 250,000.
Okay, you're not getting free tuition. You're not getting free tuition and free entry of $250,000 worth. So you're putting out a whole lot more than what you're getting back.
Yeah, you're losing.
So that's what I'm saying. What is this for? Is this ego driven? What is this for? Or is this for enrollment of all the other teams in your program? And it's the parents, you know what I mean?
It could be. It's a striving point of, hey, these guys are on the national team. These guys don't have to pay, but you're not at that level yet, so you still have to pay until your kid's good enough to play on a national. You know what I mean? While you wait, you're paying for these guys to essentially play.
Man, it blows my mind. How it also blows my mind, but also, I'll just say this, it makes you respect like what Scott and Tony and some of these guys do with the smaller organizations, being able to compete and being able to keep their kids. Because
sometimes
like the Hammonds of the world. Yeah, sometimes, but like the Hammonds of the world, you know what I mean? Or, the Karenses of the world, you know what I mean? It goes to like what Jay said, they left for family and they left for that culture. You know what I mean? Like the fiscal side of it was a wash to them. You know what I mean? It sounded like, but to them, they fell in love with this Rocky guy and his culture.
Yeah.
Now, is that the guy that you were texting me about?
Yeah. So you've met Rocky. We were in Florida at
the video was super blurry, so I couldn't make out what he looked like.
Yeah, it was Rocky, a Mexican guy that we met, I talked to in Florida, and he's saying bullshit with us for a while. That's Rocky from the Southside Defenders, now the Diamond Kings.
Dude,
and I mean,
those uniforms are
those uniforms are badass, man. The colors.
That picture that Brittany posted on her story was like, I was like, that is insane. How cool for those kids.
I like the colors, man. Did you watch the video?
There's colors on the wall right there. You see that?
Did you watch the video of them walking into the locker room?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see it.
So it's a locker room. They each got their own individual locker with their name on it. Uniforms hanging, helmet, batting gloves, everything. Dude, I'll have to find it and send it to you. Dude, the video was badass. Yeah, he's the one that showed me.
Oh, he's probably FOMOing big time.
No, he goes, this is sweet. He goes, just to make a video like this is sweet.
But I mean, he knows, Jay said, be a good hit.
He knows who that team is. That's what I said. Get a hold of me, Jay. You know where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like, with all due respect, there are only a handful of people in this country that I would let my HUD, go play with, and that's one family that I would, without a doubt, go and figure out financially how to pull that off. So don't get like Scott, don't freak out. I don't need you to call me right now. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm just saying there's a handful of people, there's a couple in Florida that we've met, there's obviously a couple in Georgia that we've met. Yeah. And I can tell you that like Jay is for sure Nolan and HUD just always have gotten along. It seems like those three or whenever we're at tournaments, it's Nolan, Brantley, and Hud, and they're walking around and they're just in other people's dugouts and they're sitting watching games, and there isn't a whole lot being said between them. They're all kind of, well, Hudson and Nolan are very quiet personalities. It's just like when they're together, they're quiet together, and then you add Brantley, Brantley just comes in and plops down in between them and is like, "Hey, boys," and then gets the party going. But
Brantley's that friend that comes in with the snacks, like, "Let's party, boys."
and then like, what kind of snacks you got, boys?
Yeah, like what? Let's turn this party out. Even with them now, he joined them. That Rocky and Ralph are both great people.
Okay.
And them three together, like, it seems like they molded well together.
I have with the names, but I'm sure that I know this face like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, and then so they're playing. He said they're playing two teams that they've never seen before. Which
I will tell you.
Yeah, which is it's us. I mean, they never saw us before either until we showed up. So
yeah,
you know how that can go.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot underestimate teams from the north or teams from the east or anything like that when it comes to it. Usually when it comes to big tournaments like that, especially the first ones of the year, about 2 games in, it takes them about, which is unfortunate because you could lose 2 and be out of the tournament. But by the 3rd game, people are like, yeah, that's not the team we saw from day one.
Yeah.
All of a sudden the winter workouts and all the winter work starts to then come together. And by game 3, when it's too late, you're like, damn, like if we could have just, which is why we kind of chose to not come anymore, because why have such an expensive tournament be the tournament that you get warmed up at? So,
yeah. And like he said, there was that team from New Jersey too that looked athletic. They just looked out, then played outside. And that's how we usually look, Yeah, it says they're playing the DBC Prime at 2, which they are 0-3, and then they're playing a Beach City.
Yeah, that's right. Beach City Ballers.
Beach City Prospects he said California. Oh,
he said that the Wildcatters brought in the Bayou Ballers or Bay City. What was it?
The Bayou City. Bayou City.
Is that AJ's team?
It was AJ's team, yep.
So where's AJ at now?
I want to say he's still with Bayou, which I will look up right now.
Okay.
And I'll look at their roster.
That's another one, AJ Martin.
Yep.
Shout out to the Martin family. God, his dad. Love his dad. Yeah, it's just another family that we met playing in Texas a lot. His dad works for government, right?
Yes, some sort of like police or
I thought it was border or immigration or something like that. I don't remember. But his dad is a Secret Service agent. His dad he's a Black Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
And he dabs us up and we hug and we laugh and we smile every time we see each other. So it's just another one of those families that we've met that, you just can't get that anywhere else than having the opportunity to play in some of these events at some of these levels, because and you know what? It's unfortunate. It's probably why we became such good friends with them, because they see the same faces all the time when they're in Texas. They don't get out like we do. We got to go all over the place to get competition. They have competition every weekend in Texas. So I do envy that. Like, they don't have a lot of travel overhead in their life.
They don't have to. No. He's still on the team, AJ.
Okay, AJ's still on the team. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and now they're back. So, I mean, if they're under the Wildcatters organization, then they're back where they started.
Yep. Yeah, and there's a couple of kids that were on the Wildcatters that left that are on this team that are back now too. So they're on that Bayou City. Now they're Bayou City, Wildcatters Bayou City 12U. So, which is a pretty good team, looking at them nationally ranked 6. So
yeah, I would say so. Yeah. I mean, but this is the first big one of the year. So put whatever weight you want to by yourself on, in that ranking, but it is what it is. And you got to start, listen, every year you got to have a ranking. So you got to put people somewhere. So
yeah, you got to start it somewhere.
Yeah. You got to start somewhere. College does it. The pros do it. They all do it. So, there's a list and you got to put names somewhere. So you might as well start with just what you assume. And a lot of this is projection, projected, rankings. So
yeah. Speaking of that, did Pat get a hold of you, text you or anything?
Let me look here. Let me see what Pat. No, he did not. Did you look at their game?
I'll look right now. He texted me earlier. I was trying to remember. He said that very competitive. 40 of the 45 teams belong in the 12U major division.
It's just
a
gonna
lot
get
of con.
harder and harder every year, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm looking now. We need a Jamie.
We need, yeah, right. Jamie could have been looking this up as we were talking.
Yeah, this is a team Andrew's playing for. So as of now, they won their first game yesterday, 6-4,
Yep.
and then won the second
Yep.
game 11-10.
Right. How'd they do? And then this morning they were down.
This
2-0.
morning they won 8-0, and then won at 10 again, 6-3. So they're 4-0, but gave up 3, 13, 19 runs.
Okay, so if they gave
Or
up 19
17
runs,
runs.
and if we if we do this and we look at
Pool standings.
pool standings, Scorpions. Did you know anything about the Scorpions?
No, that's what he said. I was like, I'd never.
I wonder
The
if
only Scorpions I knew was
it's like
that
Tallahassee
Easton's-
Meat or something.
the Easton Scorpions from Texas that we've played.
Yeah, I'm looking for USA Prime as far as the standings go.
They're 21 right now.
Yeah, so they've given up.
They've given us 17.
Yeah, 17.
I don't think they're going to make it.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that haven't given up that many. Not even close.
I mean, 11. Rocket Baseball Club, West Elite, 3-0, giving up 11.
Yeah. Golden Prospects are 4-0, only giving up 1. Golden Futures are 4-0, only giving up 6.
Those 4-0, 7, giving up 7. SBA JSM X National, 4-0, giving up 9. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be tough for them. It's going to be tough for
Yeah.
them to try to get in with giving up 21.
Hey, I have a question for you. We got we somebody reached out to us via, I don't remember if it was, I think it was on Facebook, and wanted to get our take, and I thought it was a good question to ask you, because this is the world that you live in, which is the world that I'm getting into, but it's the world you definitely live in, and that is asking us what our take is or how much we're seeing or not seeing the electronic pitch communications between coaches and catchers and all of this stuff. And I told him that I mean, we've seen it all the way back to 9U, because Cody Hendricks was the first one I ever saw use it with his team. Like, he's always used it.
If I was rich, I would have it for Brantley.
Okay, so
The
why is Scott so against it? Why does he? Is it?
I
just
think he's just old school, man. I think he's just one of those old school guys that rather use hand signals.
Because I remember asking him one time, and I remember I could have swore I heard him say something along the lines of, "It's not teaching him baseball," but I don't understand what that means. And maybe he was answering that to a different question I had, because I don't understand how that's not teaching baseball. I don't think there's a.
I mean, not teaching it. I mean, you see it now in high school, college, even the major leagues. You know what I mean? Everybody's using it now. I just think he's more of a guy that is an old school baseball player. Rather use the, hand signals to call pitches, outs, and
that. And it also could be too that, we're talking about teams like, so we've seen it we've seen it with SBA. We've seen it with the Wildcatters. RBI with ZT National. We've also seen it with VSA.
It's mainly your top teams in the country. Those are all top teams.
And what do they all have in common? It seems like they all have unlimited resources.
Yes.
So I would assume this might have something to do with Scott. If you really, if you held a Nerf gun to Scott's head, he would probably tell you, well, with the lack of resources, I'm not going to blow what limited resources I do have on that shit when I can just call it. So
because that alone, the one that I like for Brantley, it's the one you see it goes into your ear. You look like a Secret Service agent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was $4,500
Yeah.
And that's only for one earpiece. So if you have two catchers, you want both your catchers using the same earpiece? Because I think if you get two, it bumps up to like $7,000.
Now, I looked into it last year because I thought I was able to lock down a sponsor for the one that Cody uses and the one that
the watch.
Yeah, the watch. And I looked into it. It was only like, I don't know, I want to say it was only like $1,300 or $1,400, and it came with two of them. But then you could get them for like, I think then every other one after that was like another $100. something like
Yeah.
that. They're like $99 after that. And I was thinking to myself, because SBA has it on every kid in the field. Every kid in the field for SBA, at least they did last year. I don't know if they're doing it this year, but last year, every kid in the field, even the kids that weren't playing, that were in the dugout getting ready,
They knew what was coming or
They
what.
knew-
Yeah.
and had that pitch communication on. So if you're, and folks, listen to this. Like, listen to this right now. We're talking about a new baseball. Kids, every position on the field has got an indicator on their wrist that's going to tell them what pitch the pitcher is going to be throwing, so they can be ready for a pop-up. They can be ready for a certain,
or just move into position
and
move yourself into position.
moving yourself to. So if you this is, we try really hard, Jacob and I, to give you guys a perspective that don't understand what this
Yeah.
level of baseball is like. This was happening when we were 9U playing against Texas teams. So you can only imagine how much more it's cranked up at 12U at East Cop. Like, this is not daddy ball. This is
No.
This is not rec ball at the Sandlot. These kids, the level that these kids are playing at, and the amount of information that these kids are processing at a young age of this sport that is so mentally grueling, is next level. It's next level, Jacob.
It is, man. It is. The way it makes the game easier for them. It does make the game easier for them, but it's also a lot at the same
It's
time.
a lot of information, dude. It's a
It
lot.
is. Oh, it is a
also
lot of
leaves-
information.
It also leaves zero room for excuses, zero room
Yeah.
for error from the training. Like, if you get to train with that all winter long and understand that, what, Z35Q means, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or you look at your wrist, it's a fastball outside.
Yeah. Yeah. That ball's going hot to first base or second base.
Yeah. Yeah, it's either gonna go to the right side or
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
gonna, it's the right side be ready.
Yeah.
You get your left side to shift over.
Yep. Yep.
It is a lot of information.
Well-
But it's easy. I think it's easier than a coach standing like,
Well, don't you think it's easier? Well, don't you think it's easier for the catchers at this age because because you guys might change your signals between every game,
yeah.
and
Or you might do it
sometimes
between
you just
innings
forget.
because the coaches, you're doing it between innings because the coaches are figuring out the hand
Yes.
signals.
Yes, that is. I mean, the coaches are smart. The coaches, you guys got to understand this too. It's not just the coaches figuring this out. They've got
You got parents.
20 parents sitting over there staring at the signs too, figuring it out, and then texting coach on the field. So,
Yeah.
am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're right.
I mean,
Yeah. It's happened with us.
we picked up pitches before and told our
Yeah.
boys, but there's certain situations, let's say we're on defense and we just walk the batter. Well, the first, we got to remind the pitcher, okay, we're not throwing a piss missile down the middle. We're throwing a breaking ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're throwing a change up, getting into a double play here, but you got to remind them sometimes because they're kids. So it's one of
Yep.
those things where,
And that's where the communications come in easier and just
yes,
let the coach call the pitch. Everybody sees it. The catcher doesn't even have to make a sign.
yes.
They just go.
Yeah. But I will say that that technology has burned us in the past too. It's pissed me off because
What do you mean?
we've had teams use it with delays. Batteries, we got to switch these
Yeah.
like with time limits in games.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
had coaches make multiple battery changes in devices to delay the games with these things. And I don't know, we got to get that under control too.
I mean, I think it's just you leaving it as a umpire. Hey, you got to leave it. Now he's playing the game the old school way.
Yeah.
Or
I
you
mean,
got players, you got players around you. Let them communicate with you and tell you.
You should get
You know what I
one,
mean?
you should get one of those a game as far as a battery or a device. If it's not working, rip that thing off and go back to picking your nose and wiping your, you know what I mean? And wiping
Yep,
your mouth
playing in
and,
the dirt.
and combing your hair.
You're right about that.
So it has come back. I remember it biting us in the butt at that championship game in Florida because he used that when they were tying their shoes and everything else. They were talking.
Yeah.
They were doing the whole device thing. And then have we played anybody with the walkie-talkie and the earpiece? Have we played anybody that uses that? Yeah.
We have. I just don't remember who it was. I've seen it.
I
And
want
that's
to
when
say that was Rodriguez. I want to see that was VSA.
I want to say that might have been. Yeah.
I mean, the really tall catcher that they
Yeah.
have?
Yep.
I want to say it was Rodriguez, the third base coach, because I feel like he always had his clipboard up covering his mouth.
Yes, you're right.
Okay. So
Yep, you're right.
somebody. It's just Cody and SBA are the ones that use the watch. But yeah, I remember that tall catcher that catches for them. God, the kid is huge. He would have that ear. He had that earpiece
Yeah.
in. All right.
So answering the question,
What did
I
I
mean,
ask?
for me, it'd be, yeah, I want Brantley to have it.
Oh yeah.
It makes it a lot easier. It makes it a lot easier and more on the local level. You don't see it because it's,
It's
local baseball. The further you go out, the more you expand it, you start seeing it.
Yeah.
Especially, like I said, from them top national teams, they have the money to get those resources.
Yeah, I mean, yes, get a sponsor for it or whatever, but that's a really hard ROI for a sponsor to do because how do you
Yeah.
get, how do you get a return on your investment there? So that's got to be really honestly a donation more than a sponsorship.
Yeah.
You just call it a sponsorship. But yeah, I mean, it was curious and he was asking and wanted to know if we'd seen it. And I was like, bro, we've seen it
All the time.
all the way back to 9U. So this is, but yes, you do not see it locally at all. I don't even know if our high school or if our local high school uses it. Our local high school is in the Stone Age when it comes to development and everything else. So
but you live in the middle of nowhere.
Bro, don't get me started on this. We're not going to get into conversation about our high school baseball program here.
Okay, so
shit's
we'll
got to
leave that
change.
alone.
Though. Shit's got to change. Shit's got to change, and it will change, or else you're not going to have. Bro, there's things happening now.
We don't have to get into it.
We don't have to get into it. That's another podcast, but that's another podcast, and we will cover it as it gets closer because I will be paying attention this year to the high school program.
You have to.
A lot more than what I ever have in the past, because if this community that I live in is they're very comfortable with the way things are, and it's not just our sports programs. It's not. I'm talking the way of life.
Everything.
I'm talking how you live. They're very comfortable with status quo, and what separates the programs in Northeast Ohio or across the country from programs like us in every sport. I'm not just going to single out one, is that those other programs do not settle for status quo. They strive to be the best. They strive to be the greatest. They strive for ticket sales at football games, at basketball games, that you know what I mean? They want to put out the product. They want the product to represent the community and for that to be the best in the state.
Yeah.
Either we gotta shit or get off the pot, as Dad would say. So, well, my dad would never say that, but somebody else's dad.
You would say that.
I would say that.
It's funny, man. Big conversation I had a lot during the week was the conversation about high school sports.
Yeah.
Do they matter?
After what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they matter? And I said, if you listen, obviously you listen to podcasts because you brought the topic up to me. Like, you know how I feel about it. I don't think it does. And they just got into the depths of why and what has to change.
It came off of our conversation with Coach Cairns because I after going back and listening to it, I completely disagree with you. I think it does matter because if it didn't matter, you wouldn't go and want to play the top division in the state of Ohio, Division I at
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you're used to playing top elite travel, why would you go play for a Division 4, 5, or 6?
If it doesn't matter.
Of course you want to play. You want to know, you want to stay. All that matters is trying to win a state championship. Doesn't matter if you get in a scholarship or anything. Like you said,
I don't know, man. We got to have somebody.
Like you said, why is high school baseball? Why is high school baseball the same time as high school or college baseball?
Well, it's always going to be that way because that's the season that the sport is in across the board.
I don't know, man. I mean, to me, it's not. We see it, man. You see it when we go to East Cobb. How many times have we've been there, go up?
Those are on weekends. These kids are still playing. They're still playing their high school. I don't know.
No. I'm not saying don't go play high school.
No, I know
I'm
you're
not saying don't go play, but I mean, to me, I just feel
you don't get your panties in a bunch if you go to a school that your baseball program sucks.
Yeah.
I think this is just my opinion. I think that by the time that it matters in high school, so get through Pony League, which is the next 2 years. By the time you're a freshman and a sophomore, I think that the majority of the future college baseball players in this country have already done the work that they need to do. I think it's the late bloomers that get exposed, and it's the late bloomers and the kids that come straight out of the cornfield that have never played, that have never thrown a baseball in their lives, and all of a sudden, the old man at the corner liquor store saw this kid throwing rocks into the creek, was like, you got to come out to the baseball diamond. You know what I mean? There's two of those in this country every year of kids who've never played the game and all of a sudden start playing the game. You know what I mean? A Paul Skeens of the world, which that I'm just saying, like, just a freak of nature. I think, in my own opinion, I would say that no, high school baseball doesn't matter other strictly for just bragging rights. I think that if you go to a school that is dominant in high school baseball, college programs already know that. So I think that the only thing that matters, in all honesty, is I think the relationship that your club coach has with recruiters across the country. I think that this is completely opposite and different than football. I think that the relationship that high school coaches have with recruiters is the equivalent to the same thing that travel baseball coaches have with recruiters in baseball. I don't think high school baseball is mattering as much as what I've worried that it's going to.
Yeah, I think high school baseball, like I said on the last one, is you play with your friends to go try to win a state championship.
Yeah. I don't think it can break you. I think high school baseball can only make you if you don't. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think that's where I'm at with you too. I don't think it can't break you, because I mean, if you're a top player, an elite player for an elite team, I mean, your game's going to talk its own when you go face the elite competition from all over the country, the 90 plus arms or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I think, like you said, I think it's going to help the kids that are the late bloomers,
or the kids that don't play a lot of travel ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So high school baseball is for the kids that don't have exposure in travel ball, but it can make somebody's career that nobody's ever heard of. And he throws 95, you know what I mean, as a junior in high school, but he doesn't play travel ball because his parents work third shift, if you know what I mean, and can't live that life. But I think that if you're a top 200, the top 250 baseball players in America, everybody already knows who they are anyways.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. So high school baseball is just something to do. It's something to probably build more character than it does development, because
and play with friends
and play with buddies. It just, I found it interesting though, when he said, because Bishop Watterson they're a wagon in sports.
Yeah.
But when he said that Grady's 2 minutes away and Bailey was 55, that probably had a lot to do with it too. And he has a lot more buddies that he plays travel ball with that go to Dublin.
And he's a boy, doesn't like to get up to school. You know what I mean? He rolls out of bed and just goes.
Yeah. I mean, he could go to Bishop Watterson and win 4 state titles, you know what I mean? In baseball there without any questions asked whatsoever. And he's choosing a harder road with Dublin Jerome, because you got to play Cincinnati Moeller and all these other Division I schools in the state.
Division I schools.
Yeah, but at the same time, like you said, it doesn't matter, because the eyeballs that he wants to be on him are already on him.
Yep.
They're taken care of during these showcases and during these college camps and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say that you're probably right. I would say that I'm probably getting a little bit more worked up over what high school baseball is going to look like than what I should. I probably shouldn't care that much about it, and maybe I need to reevaluate my attitude towards that. But at the same time too, I also just don't want to be dog shit. So,
well, no, none of us wanted to be dog shit.
No. So, I don't want to be, the armpit of the county when it comes to high school baseball.
Yeah.
So, and I think things are, listen, I have hope. I think things are changing. There's some good people that are making some moves, but we've got to get into the deep end when it comes to competing. We have to. We have to. So we do it with a lot of other sports at our school district. So there's no reason we shouldn't be doing it in baseball.
Baseball, yeah.
So anyways, okay. So this week coming up. So what I'm thinking is we will record Wednesday night as scheduled. And then I was trying to figure out what we'll do is I think, depending on how the weekend goes, because we'll be in Florida. how the weekend goes, we will either record. We'll either record after we're done on Sunday before we head home, or maybe, if we have a break in between games and it's more than an hour, we're just going to have to play this one. We're just going to have to play this one by ear to see how Sunday rolls around. I don't want to do it in the morning because that's too hard on you on Sunday mornings. Because
No, Sunday morning is not hard on me.
Sunday
can get
mornings
up.
is not hard. Okay, so
No,
Barry,
but we got to do it. We have to do it like we did the ones, 7:30, 8 o'clock.
well, as long as we don't have an 8 a.m. game
Yep.
Sunday morning,
Yeah, you
then I
let
would
me
say
know.
we'll shoot and we'll shoot for Sunday morning. That way I can kind of give you, because you know me, and after a tournament is over, my brain shuts down.
Yeah, you want to decompress.
I'm so mentally exhausted and stressed out from watching my boys, go through it, that it's really hard for me. And I also don't want to get on a podcast and be emotional.
Yeah.
Mad.
So we'll shoot Saturday morning.
Yeah, we'll shoot
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. And if we have to do a 6 o'clocker for 45 minutes, then that's what we'll do. You and I both,
I was just getting ready to say that.
Yeah, you and I both operate well at that time. We're fresh and we're good to go. So yeah, we'll see. And then if Saturday night we've got some dads that want to get on, we'll communicate that with you. We'll log them on, and we'll log you in, and we'll get on the couch and we'll record. Or if I get a dad that wants to do it, you know what I mean, Sunday morning, who knows? But
I don't have nothing as of now on Sunday or Saturday, so you let me know.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All right.
Well, let's get out of here. This was a quick and an easy one. Thank you to Jay. Jay, thank you.
Thank you, Jay, again.
Yep. And we're going to get off of this podcast so that we can both get on Game Changer and we can watch Nolan's game. So y'all have a great day. Jacob, love you. See you.
Love you, man.
Bye.
You guys, everyone, have a good week. Love you. See you. Bye.